Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jack and Later still in Lake Jackson, my little shitty galley kitchen. But this one's going to be quick. This one's going to be nice. This is something my grandfather used to do, and my buddy told me a different way to do it, so we're going to do his next week. So this is going to be cool, quick, dirty, real good. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, ring the bell down in that corner over there, get notifications when we do these as close to Tuesday and Friday as we possibly can. And there's also a link down the doobly-doo for our merch, with our aprons and pot holders and spoons and stuff, which is really cool. That's down in the doobly-doo. And let's just get into the food. This is going to be a really short and quick one, right? Alright, super simple stuff. There's a lot of extra stuff. You're going to need a link of this sausage. I got the jalapeno stuff. It's whatever kind of smoked sausage you're looking for. Just get one of those. And one of these big-ass cans of ranch-style beans. One with, like, the Eddie Mustard-looking dude in the top. This is 3 pounds of beans is what it's labeled down there. I can't tell you the ounces. And then some jalapeno peppers. Now, I'm using the pickled stuff. That's just kind of what we had growing up. Unless you're my grandfather, you got the fresh stuff. That's fine. Because it's me, I'm going to throw in some garlic powder and some salt and pepper because I can. Be careful on the salt, mostly if you're using the pickled jalapenos or this jalapeno puree stuff, which I absolutely love, but it is super salty, so be careful if you're using that. So first things first, you need to cut the lid off of this thing. Now I just got the broke-ass hand ones, mostly because we get hurricanes and stuff down here and lose power for long stretches of time, and I don't want to starve with a bunch of canned food. So you can get it all the way around, and you're going to think that, oh, I can leave it on there and make it pop up and look like a cartoon. Don't do that. This is Frank's Law. This is what we call it. Frank's Law, be sure to cut it all the way off, and then you're going to get rid of it. If not, it's going to stick out, and it's going to cut somebody. Be very careful. So just poke one end. If it falls in there, just poke one side, and it'll pick up the other ledge, and you're good. So once you get that done, you need to cut down your sausage. Now get you a nice, sharp knife. Again, shout out to Andy. Or you can get you some kitchen shears, which are just scissors you keep in the kitchen. And just take it, and you want to cut this down to about half-inch pieces. You don't want giant pieces of sausage in this one here. Again, just cut it as best you can. You don't have to be fancy and try to do both ends at the same time like I did, like an idiot. But just go ahead and cut this down into rounds. You can cut it into smaller. It's completely up to you. If you got small kids around or something that's going to eat it that might choke on it, yeah, go ahead and go and cut it back and cut it in half again. Not just leave it like this, and just be careful when the pot's flying all over the place. Get you a decent sized pot because you got to put 3 pounds of beans in it and sausage. Go ahead and put your sausage on there. I like putting my meat on the bottom by itself. Put the meat on the metal, as it were. I'm going to stir it anyway, but I'd like to keep the heat down there. Now, everything we're putting here is already cooked. Basically, we're just reheating and seasoning everything, okay? Smoked sausage is just ready to go out of the package. The ranch-style beans have already been cooked into the can, and the pickled jalapenos are pickled. So everything here is already cooked and already ready to go. We're just mixing it together. So you're going to put about half a cup to, like a quarter cup of the jalapenos. Again, jalapenos are optional. It's completely up to you. I've had people that put in onions. I'm going to add my black pepper and salt here, just a little bit of the salt. And then once I thought about it, I figured some minced onions would go in here pretty well. So this is a shout out to my friend Kim and Dave who brought these to Spring War, and I still have them, so I use them. So shout out to you guys. Thank you all very much. Just add a pinch of that. Onion powder will work fine. I'm going to use some garlic powder, just a little bit of that. By pinch, I mean maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. You're going to put it about medium to medium low. You want to just simmer it for about 20 minutes, so you don't want it super high. So now go ahead and just pour in all 3 pounds of beans here, okay? So just put them in there, try to scrape the last of them out. Now, I try to beat them out of here mostly because I worked with Jack for so long that I know it agitates him to hear the things on the rib sides of the can. So I leave this in here just to annoy him, but it started to bother me too. It's like, contagious misophonia stuff. Use a nice wooden spoon. That's just how PawPaw always did it. And then just get in here and give it a decent stir. Just get the seasoning around, and then we're going to let it heat. While it's heating, for, like I said, you put it in for about 20 minutes, okay? On super low. You don't want it super high at all. You want it just really down there, just slow to cook. And while you're doing that, just give it a stir every 4 or 5 minutes, just a little bit. So while that's warming up, because again, it's just cooked, so we're going to do it. So I'm going to pad out the video a little bit. And because, I got this idea from my grandfather, let me tell you about it. Like, he is one of the people, he was the first person that hey, you want to learn how to cook some stuff, and showed me how to cook it, and he broke his shit. So he was broke, like his shower was busted, and he couldn't afford to fix it, so he just hung a garden hose in a tree and took a shower outside, right? It was always weird. Like, he got dementia in the last few years, and it was weird, and he just wasn't a grandfather for that last couple years, which kind of sucks, and I miss him. But He was the first person to like, here, let me show you how to live on some of his broke stuff. He was the quintessential guy. Like, I'd go over and he had a green thumb. Him and Mom would go and like dumpster dive at like old nurseries and stuff and get all these plants that they threw out because they thought were dead, and they'd bring them back. Like, Mom lost a few. My grandfather ever only lost a tree. Like, everything else he got out, man, he had that green thumb. So I'd go over and spend the weekends and work in the garden, and he always carried a salt and pepper shaker that had salt and pepper in the same thing, and we just ate tomatoes. That was lunch, right? And sometimes he'd get spam. So we disagreed on that, but we just working and hoeing and pulling up weeds and doing whatever, or working with his goats and pigs and stuff, and we just go over, sit down in the dirt, pull off a tomato, eat it with salt and pepper, and that was just lunch, man. Was eating the giant red tomato, which was just too cool. So I think about it most of the time while I cook, because he taught me a lot of stuff. But yeah, I miss him. But like, again, shout out to my grandpa, and or as we called him, PawPaw. That's because that's the South, and that's what we called him. But yeah, this is one of his. So yeah, I had to share that story, pad out the video a little bit. So let's get back into the food. All right, so like I said, you don't want to bring it to a complete boil. So if it's boiling, go ahead and turn it down. All right, you just want it to sit and simmer in there. The best way to check this stuff is your sausage. Now, when you cook sausage, it's like a hot dog. It expands, right? So you can kind of see it around the edges. So if you look at the side, if you can see the meat poking out and it's starting to get round on the flat edges, that means your sausage is cooking, and that's what you want, right? So again, you can kind of see this one here. Let me see if I can get up here. I don't think the focus will adjust, but see how the meat is poking out from the lining, from the skin that's on there. So that's when you know it's getting good. So let it sit, let it simmer, taste it, season it again here, only if you're going to do it for a big group. But once it's started cooking there, like I said, 20 minutes in, you're done. Serve it in a bowl. Good. This is great for meal prep if you're into stuff that, I guess it's healthy. I don't know. It's probably got a lot of salt and horrible stuff that can't be too healthy, but it doesn't have a lot of additives and horrible stuff in it. It's just beans and meat, so you're good. This is just a staple. This is one of those things, like, it's under $10, well under $10. Your sausage is your big expenditure on this one, right? And you can find that for relatively cheap, especially if you go to like meat markets and stuff instead of going to like the big box stores. And you can reheat it all week. Be sure to refrigerate it, keep it in a sealed thing. I don't think Grandpa ever did that, but yeah, like I said, we're in the dirt, so our immune systems were tempered. So yeah, this one's pretty good. And there you have it, folks. Like, enough food and protein to last you for at least a week if you eat slowly, or like 2 or 3 days if you're me. So yeah, I got bean juice on me, human bean juice. And that's the thing. If you do it differently, you want to see us do it differently, let me know. I'm going to revisit it next week, because my buddy Sly gave me a way to do it with some specialized stuff from a store here. I want to try that, and it sounds amazing. So we're going to revisit this next week. So come back, try it this way. If you do it a different way, let me know. Put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on social media at Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. You can find us at all those at Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can also find us at Instagram at Live Between. We had to shorten it down over there. You can find me, Osway Nerdy, on all the socials, including Twitter and TikTok, where I've been doing some small videos over there. Mostly a bunch of nerd and collecting and painting stuff over there, but it's still just fun stuff. So I will see y'all next time. Y'all, please be safe. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next time. And I'm going to pull my shirt down to kind of get rid of my man boobs there. Y'all be safe.